Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll explain 5 ways to become rich from poor in Japan. Many people spend the majority of their time in life trying to earn money. With money, you can buy what you want and provide a fulfilling education for your children. Therefore, increasing wealth is something that interests many people. In this video, I will introduce 5 points on how the mindset and actions differ between rich and poor individuals. By watching this video, it can be a starting point for you to become rich in the future. This channel provides information for foreigners living in Japan to become financially prosperous. Giving me a high rating and subscribing to the channel will make the next video even better. The first point is to understand the equation for asset formation. Those who become rich always keep this equation in mind. The increase in assets is determined by income minus expenses plus the amount of asset utilization multiplied by the rate of return. To become rich, it is necessary to always keep this equation in mind. Income is the money obtained from your labor. Expenses are the money spent on your daily life. The amount of asset utilization multiplied by the rate of return is the money obtained from assets such as stocks and real estate. The second point is to increase income. There are mainly 2 ways to increase income: increasing income from your main job or starting a side business. When it comes to increasing income from your main job, unfortunately, in the case of Japanese companies, there are often cases where the annual salary is determined based on years of service rather than individual performance, known as the seniority-based wage system. Therefore, instead of continuing to work at the same company to increase income, the quickest way to increase annual income is to acquire specialized knowledge and engage in job hunting for a better paying position. As for job hunting services, DOTA, Good Job, Japan Career, and JAC Recruitment are recommended. I will include the links in the video description. By the way, on this channel, I provide learning materials for foreigners to study for the Japanese Business Proficiency Test, Nissho bookkeeping in English. This qualification is a public certification related to accounting in Japanese companies. It is one of the most useful qualifications for job hunting and career changes in Japan, so I encourage you to give it a try. Another way to increase income is by developing a side business. There are many methods such as YouTube, web writing, selling products, and video editing. While job hunting can potentially increase annual income relatively quickly, there is a limited ceiling to income. On the other hand, with a side business, there is no income ceiling. The income can increase significantly with greater success. However, it takes a long time to see results from a side business, so there is almost no income at the beginning stages. It's important to make the appropriate choice based on your available time and savings. The third point is to prioritize your desires. This is a mindset necessary for reducing expenses. If you buy everything you want, no matter how much you increase your income, you won't save money. Therefore, it's important to prioritize your desires. What this means is understanding what you value. Let's consider a car as a more specific example. You're considering replacing your current car, and you have 5 million yen in savings. If there are options of a used car for 1 million yen, a new car for 2 million yen, and another new car for 4 million yen, which one would you choose? Since you have 5 million yen in savings, you can buy any of these cars outright. The answer varies for each person, and there's no one correct answer. If you saved the 5 million yen specifically to purchase the 4 million yen new car, then you should use it for that purpose. A bad answer would be to purchase the 2 million yen or 4 million yen new car without consideration, just a vague feeling of dislike. This is because you haven't considered whether spending this several million yen would actually give you the value or satisfaction you seek. In this state, even if you spend a large amount of money, you won't feel fulfilled. In my case, I don't have a particular attachment to cars, and as long as it functions as a means of transportation, it's enough for me. So, I would choose the 1 million yen car. This choice gives me satisfaction because I get the desired functionality without spending unnecessary money. It's important to note that not spending money isn't always the correct choice. Understanding what you value and thoroughly considering the reasons for spending money are crucial. Especially for items like cars, homes, appliances, and weddings, significant amounts of money are involved. However, if you can prioritize your desires, you should be able to make appropriate decisions. By the way, I recently made a significant purchase, a cheese that costs 10,000 yen for 200 grams. It's by far the most expensive cheese I've ever bought in my life. It's a sandwich made with French black truffles and natural cheese, and it was a taste I had never experienced before. Currently, I find value in experiencing things that wouldn't normally be considered worth spending money on. The fourth point is not to take on debt. This is an act of reducing expenses. Representative forms of debt include car loans, credit card loans, and education loans. Since debt always comes with interest, you must repay more money than you borrowed. Furthermore, with interest rates of several percent on debt, you can fall into an even worse cycle of increasing debt. In Japan, the average interest rates are around 2% to 5% for car loans, 15% to 20% for credit card loans, and 1% to 5% for education loans. If you don't feel fear when seeing these numbers, it will be difficult to become rich. As I'll explain in the next point about stock investments, the average return on prudent stock investments is around 7% to 8% annually. When compared to this, it becomes clear how unreasonable it is to take out loans with such interest rates. Essentially, taking on debt means borrowing against your future time. Therefore, it significantly increases the amount of time you will have to work in the future. It's important to recognize this reality correctly. By the way, a housing loan is also a form of debt. The interest rate is around 1.5%. For those considering buying a home in the future, prioritize your desires and think carefully about it. The fifth point is to invest in stocks. This increases the amount of asset utilization multiplied by the rate of return. Instead of just holding your assets in cash, holding them in stocks can bring you closer to becoming rich. The classic investment products are those widely diversified across the world or across the United States. I also hold these investment products. These can be managed with low costs of less than 0.1%. Even if you invest 1 million yen, the cost is only about 1,000 yen per year, or about 3 yen per day. The annual average return on these investment products is 7% to 8%. Assuming a 7% return, if you invest 1 million yen and manage it for a year, it will become 1,070,000 million yen, an increase of 70,000 yen. Furthermore, if you manage this 1,007,000 yen for a year at 7%, it will become 1,145,000 yen, an increase of 75,000 yen. This increase in assets is called the compound interest effect. If the asset utilization amount is increased to 10 million yen, managing it at 7% annually will result in 10,700,000 yen, an increase of 700,000 yen. This is what the asset utilization amount multiplied by the rate of return represents. Since you can't control the rate of return with your efforts, increasing the asset utilization amount is effective. However, if you've never invested in stocks before, you might have concerns about whether it's really okay. For such individuals, the dollar cost averaging method, where you invest a fixed amount of money every month, is recommended. For example, even if it's just 10,000 yen per month, starting to invest regularly is important. As the asset utilization amount increases, the feeling of money growing without you having to work becomes more pronounced. As of February 12, 2024, the date I'm creating this video, my asset utilization amount is approximately 27,800,000 yen. The US market has been performing well this year, so there's already been a return of around 6% year-to-date. Therefore, there's been an asset increase of 1,500,000 yen just this year. In reality, there's also the impact of exchange rates, so the profit is further enhanced to about 2 million yen. I am earning a significantly larger amount through returns from stocks than what I earn through work. I started investing in stocks about 4 years ago and have increased my asset utilization amount to this level. Of course, I was also afraid of investing at first, so I started with a monthly contribution of 30,000 yen and gradually increased it. If you don't find it too much trouble and face the reality in front of you and take action, your future will gradually change. On this channel, we provide information for foreigners residing in Japan on how to become rich.
Thank you for watching the video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. The higher the number of likes, the better the next video will be. Your comments are the driving force behind the creation of my next video, so please feel free to leave them. Thank you very much in advance. See you next time.